So I had from the edge of this roof to the window where the other two boys were, you're talking about 10 feet, right? My wingspan is probably like 8, 7. So I had a couple feet I had to deal with to get just to the window where they were. So I dealt with it. I hung on the best I could. I reached over, boom, crack, bust the window.
Hello, Carrollton, Texas. In today's news, there is a 2-year-old trapped inside a house fire. The fire was started by the father's girlfriend who set the father's bed on fire while he was sleeping. The father managed to rescue 4 of the 5 children who were inside. As it remains, there is still a toddler trapped inside the home. There are firefighters and first responders on the scene. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. We will keep you posted on the latest as the story develops. Reporting for Good News 1, I'm Sherry Jones.
Thank you for joining me again for another segment of After the Fire. So, I know we wrapped up the last session and we were talking about using those spiritual gifts and knowing when to use them is going to be the most important in your spiritual walk, because without knowing when to use them, how to use them, or what's available, they're pretty much rendered useless. So you want to make sure that although you study whatever religion you're in, that spiritually you understand that there are principles that have to be followed, and that there are also blessings, miracles, and in some cases power that's given. So during the last segment, we were talking about how to use those spiritual gifts and why they're important, because without knowing what to use, when to use it, and how to use it, the gifts that are available to you spiritually are pretty much rendered useless. So you want to make sure that you know what you're doing, right? So we have to understand the religious aspect of what we're doing as well as the spiritual aspect of what we're doing. And there are 2 different reward systems available depending on the religion you're in or how you understand spirituality and you apply it into your life. So depending on the religion, right, you have different reward systems that are based off of either your faithfulness to the facility, your faithfulness to the congregation, your ability to help the congregation or the church as a whole progress in a forward motion, or it could be your ability to hold different events or ministries or put together ministries to be able to help the community as a whole, right? So from a religious aspect, if those goals are met, there's a reward system in most churches that will fulfill will fulfill the sense of accomplishment, based off of an award system that was determined by how you did your work or the fact that you went over and beyond your duties to maintain a good standing in that specific ministry. But spiritually, we get the same reward systems, right? There are the same rewards for having a pure heart, for walking in faith, for uplifting the weak, and having unconditional love and not basing it based off of what a person's doing or their situation, and loving like God did, right? When you do that, you open yourself up to, a different reward system that allows you to be able to maneuver through situations a little more effectively. For instance, if you are, let's say, preaching to a large congregation or speaking to a lot of people on a regular basis, there's a spiritual release that's given to you to be able to provide not only the energy, but the clarity and the understanding, and being able to communicate effectively to the crowd that you're talking to. And God will give you that so that you can be more clear and you can be more impactful in the things that you do, as well as He will give you more availability to different gifts that will complement what you're doing, so that while you're doing it, like it's the most impactful, and it's got a supernatural atmosphere attached to it, because there are things that wouldn't normally happen unless you were in a position spiritually that would allow God to use you as a vessel in that way. So with understanding that, I had to take all of this in account at the time the fire was happening, right? So we got to the house that evening, and Tony, Renee is upset and decided she was going to leave for the evening. So I said, no problem. And, there was kind of this long stare that happened afterwards. And because, I had that 20%, I had worked that night at a bar. I was a percussionist. And she came along with me, and I had more drinks than I probably should have had that night. But I was feeling good. I was having a good time. You know how it goes, right? And someone walked in the door. This girl walked in the door at the same time, going to the bar as I was going to the bar. And next thing I know, Tony had come right in there with me and was basically sitting next to me and was asking me who was this person. And I had no idea. I didn't even pay attention, actually. And that was clearly stated, but not understood. Men, you know what I mean, right? You can clearly state it, but it not quite be understood. So she proceeded to go on and try to figure out, who this girl was, and decided to go into the bathroom. And I really didn't. I figured, she'd get the information she needed, and, she'd cut it out. But it didn't stop there, right? Once she came back out, there was total silence. I kind of got the silent treatment the rest of the evening. And I'm kind of a lighthearted guy. I can be a little deep, but generally I like to be lighthearted and fun. So, of course, I did some things that, from what I understood, would either bring the situation back to a joyous occasion, or not, just having some fun, cracking some jokes. And, I got to turn towards the window, while I'm driving us back home. So I'm just poking and having fun, and I know you're not upset at that. Like there's no way I would even date anyone like that. Like she's not even my type. Just, going into all of the different things that are real that I'm thinking she's got to realize how, foolish she's being, or, how this is just a misunderstanding. And, that whole ride home, there was no breaking her. There was no breaking her. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, she's really got some anger issues. One, she's, not in a good state. So me, of course, being a lighthearted guy, right? I'm kind of, if I do all of that and we're not back to having fun and laughing, I'm ready to tap out at that point, because I need to get back to having fun and enjoying myself. And that's just kind of the person I am. I like to have fun and just have a good time. We could move through the situation, but let's move through it accurately and get through it, not just kind of go back and forth with ideas and feelings and situations that you may think this could be, and it's not. Of course, I'll sit through it, but doesn't mean I want to do it. So I sat through it. And we get to the house, and she says, you know what? I was going to spend the night, but I'm going to go ahead and go home. And I said, no problem. And at this point, I'm a little frustrated because you can't get past your frustration. You know how it happens when you're in a relationship. And I was saying, okay, well, you can go ahead and go, no problem. So I said, I'm going to lay down for a second because I had a few Long Islands and I am a little tired.
Every session at the gym is about pushing your limits and sculpting a stronger you. That's why it's crucial to fuel your recovery with the right protein supplement. Discover the power of isogenics. From moringa-infused smart mixes to plant-based proteins and advanced cell repair formulas, isogenics supports not just muscle recovery, but your overall vitality. Experience the change and boost your strength with every product. Visit changelife.com now and elevate your fitness journey today.
And I lay down and she goes in the bathroom and grabs her stuff and she's grabbing her things in the bathroom. And she decided she was gonna come back out and just kind of came to the side of the bed and said, you know, I'm really leaving, right? And I said, yeah, I'm aware of that and I'm okay with it. I'm frustrated, guys. And from that point, she said, okay. And she just kind of gave me that stare again, like that evil stare. Now, for the average guy, we're thinking, you're crazy. Like, I need to watch you. Oh, who you think you're looking at, whatever the case may be. But you're not thinking, this chick's about to set my house on fire. And I never thought that, right? I figured, she's gonna be upset. I walk her outside and whatever, And I wake up again because I hear a clicking noise, just something clicking at the edge of the bed. And I look up and she's standing at the edge of the bed with a lighter holding the sheet. And I just kind of looked at her with a dead stare and I was like, you're not crazy. You're not that crazy. And, we just kind of stared at each other until she walked away. And then now I'm kind of leery. I'm one eye open, so I think. And the next time I wake up, I'm smelling smoke. And I look and she's at the edge of the bed and the whole bottom portion of the bed is on fire. And she stood there with her hands crossed and said, let me see you put this out. Let me tell you, I had a mission on my hands. I had a lot of work on my hands. 2-story home, 2,500 square feet, just added a gym to the back. I had a media room upstairs. The room that she has set this fire in, a week before, I had scraped the popcorn off the ceiling, put in crown molding, painted the walls. Yes, painted the walls. Pulled up the carpet, scraped the concrete, stained it to create a beautiful concrete floor in the bedroom. I mean, it looked great. Not to mention, I had just finished the bathroom, which I had redid the shower, repainted the countertops, and repainted the walls. By this point, if you know anything about flammable substances, you're curling up in your chair. Oh, I'm curling up thinking about it. Oh, man. So we have all of these flammable substances, and I got a bed on fire. So immediately I run out, right? I'm running to go get a pot, a pan, something. Just give me anything, and I'm putting water in it, right? So I put some water in it, get back to the room, boom, I throw it over the bed, and the water just kind of went through the springs and down to the floor because most of the material was burning away. So of course now I get another bucket and I'm trying to angle it so that it would hit the material, but I was off. I'm not gonna lie, I was way off. I said, man, I don't know what to do, right? So at this point, my bedroom is here and my front door is literally right next to the bedroom. So I figured I could drag this mattress out of the room and boom, pull it out of the house and throw it on the grass and just let it finish burning, but get it out of the house. So I take this mattress and I flip it up on the side and I'm pulling it through the door, and I had one of those handles that went straight out versus the knob, and one of the springs got caught onto the handle as I'm pulling this mattress out, and it gets hung. And because I had came in before with a couple of pans of water, a little spilt. So now I'm fighting this mattress. I'm trying not to slip on the floor because it's wet, it's wood floor. And I fell miserably. I slipped.
Smoke filled the night, dark and deep. Lost the sun in the fire's cruel sweep. But he held on tight, didn't lose his way. Faith and love showed him a brighter day. Ashes to dust, he knelt down to pray. Through the tears he found words to say with a heart. Spirit, come and fill this place. I need your light, I need your grace. Guide my heart and show me.
My foot goes into the mattress at this point and it's on fire. Like, so I realize it and I pull it out, but of course by the time you feel it burning, it's gone pretty far. And so I pull it out, I stand back up and I'm trying to grab this mattress, but because the springs were now so hot, it was burning the tips of my fingers. So every time I try to grab it, it would hurt. So I would move to the inner portion of my fingers to try to grab this mattress, to push it forward, pull it back out. I don't need to hold it long is what I'm thinking. I just need to get it out, pull it in, pull it out, and turn it a little bit so I can get out of there. And I try to do this and I slip again and fall. And the second time I realized I'm not gonna save the house. There's no way. So I'm screaming at the top of the stairs. I had 5 children at the house, all boys, my precious, lovely boys. And I'm screaming, guys, get out of the house, get out of the house. The house is on fire, get out of the house. Because normally the top bedroom walks out over the exercise room. So what they do is they'll go out and sit on top of the roof to watch fireworks in the city or just look around the city, whatever. So I knew they could get out from the top floor, but I didn't think they would. I was thinking they're going to come running down the stairs. Well, this doorway is right next to the stairs. So I hear them raising the window going outside. So I'm thinking, perfect. I don't have to run up these stairs. I can drop this mattress, go around, come up top, jumped on this pot, and now I'm on the roof. So I'm on the roof and I only see 3 boys. So I'm like, where are Bryson and Braylon? And they said they're inside. We couldn't go over and get them. They were in a room right next door to them, but it was so much smoke that had come upstairs that once they went out their room, they said they couldn't breathe. And my other son went, Chris, bless your soul, the junior of the family, Christian Jr. He went, but he couldn't really breathe and he had asthma. So he came back out. So I had from there, from the edge of this roof to the window where the other two boys were, you're talking about 10 feet, right? My wingspan is probably like 8, 7. So I had a couple feet I had to deal with to get just to the window where they were. So I dealt with it. I hung on the best I could. I reached over, boom, crack, bust the window. And I hear both boys screaming to the top of their lungs. I mean, screaming. So I'm like, Bryson, Braylon, come to the window. Guys, come to the window. And no one was coming to the window. I just heard more and more screaming. So I stick my hand inside because I'm thinking, I'm going inside. Now, mind you, this is 3 a.m. after a show. I'm undressed, laying in my bed. So I probably at best had on shorts and a white beater, or shorts and a white muscle shirt. So I stick my arm into this window and it is extremely hot. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how are they even alive in there? So now I'm picking it up. I'm like, okay, I'm going into this window and I'm gonna grab these children. So I try to go in and I'm halfway in and I can't breathe. I'm holding my breath and it's hot. And I'm thinking, if I go in this window, I'm not coming back out.